Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
They are going to take my corn dog. They are going to cut it down the middle.
I personally am going to try to seek legal advice.
This is what it is being an advocate. Okay, this is like, my goal in taking those pictures was to normalize trans women using the women's room.
Lilly Tino has entered the chat. And by chat, I mean the women's restroom with a camera. This time it is bathroom selfies with any unsuspecting women or girls in the background. One of her most popular controversies involves her using snacks at Disney World to describe her gender-affirming surgery. Of course, she is back at doing the exact same thing again, as well as, meltdowns over breadsticks. Of course, Lilly is back at Disney, and we need to do that again, but with a corn dog. This is the same person who claimed that Abraham Lincoln was gay, Kurt Cobain was probably trans, and of course dressing up as Miss Rachel to teach toddlers about gender identity on the same page that she advertises her OF. Let's talk about the Disney bathroom selfie that spiraled into a lawsuit threat, solidifying that being a walking PR disaster may or may not be Lilly's niche. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if this video feels at all like a fever dream narrated by your long-lost concerned cousin Michelle. It helps me, confuses the algorithm, and mildly irritates people who take themselves a little bit too seriously. Win, win, win. So picture this. Lilly posts a bathroom selfie. In the background, random women mid-washing their hands, fixing their makeup, minding their business, blissfully unaware that they are now extras in someone's viral controversy. And people called it out because, it turns out people don't love being surprise guest stars in your bathroom selfies. But instead of saying, that was a bad call, Lilly says, they're just mad because I'm trans. Brace yourselves, because here is the uncut version.
Those Disney bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh? Saying, oh, Lilly, you can't take selfies in the bathroom, it's not appropriate. Well, let me remind you that literally every celebrity you've ever enjoyed on screen has at one point taken a bathroom selfie. For example, and it's not just celebrities. Any woman you ever meet has likely taken a photo in a public bathroom. Why, you ask? Because we look cute and we want to document it. So what is different about me that I'm not allowed to take bathroom selfies? The easy answer here is, oh, Lilly, you're a trans woman, so you get held to a different standard. And that is true. But people judge trans women differently depending on how well they pass. If you pass, that means you don't look trans. I know that I don't pass. Trust me, I know. But passing privilege is a real thing. There are some trans women out there who, no matter how hard they try, will never be able to pass. Do those trans women deserve to be treated differently? No. They should be able to take bathroom selfies too.
Listen, I've been to therapy. I have done time in the mental gymnastics Olympics. I've convinced myself that something chaotic I did was valid, and in fact, I was the victim. But then a few years passed, your frontal lobes connect a few more wires, and you go, oh no, I was just being toxic there. That's kind of what this feels like to me, turning the women's bathroom into a photo op and calling it advocacy. You didn't just dismantle the system, you violated the group P Pact. To be fair, Lilly does weave in some very valid points. She talks about passing privilege, social invisibility. These are real topics that deserve attention. But when you're not really paying attention in history class and your history teacher is just like, okay class, why was the Ming Dynasty founded and how did it rise to power? And then the teacher calls on you and you weren't really paying attention. Y'all not gonna believe I just got 36 likes on my Instagram story. What's that? 36 squared. Like, hey, technically you said something. That has nothing to do with the conversation. This is not about being cruel to someone for being trans or for existing. It's about filming others in a private space and then calling the backlash a Targeted attack. Which, by the way, is the most classic manipulation tactic in the book. Therapists literally give such things a name. DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Here's how it works. First, you're going to deny that you did anything wrong. Then you attack people for calling you out. And then you flip the script so that you become the victim. And then the people that were uncomfortable, they're now the bad guys. It's a manipulation tactic, plain and simple. It actually makes it almost impossible to take accountability. Because instead of admitting to what she did, Lilly is saying, no, I was judged because I don't pass. And then when you wrap that all up with a little bow in activism language, it becomes a lot harder to call out because it looks like you're attacking a marginalized person. But here's the thing, being called out for bad behavior is not oppression, it's consequences. You don't get to violate other people's privacy and then call it victimhood when they don't, applaud you. That's not advocacy, that's maybe entitlement in a trench coat. And while Lily's making this into a teachable moment, let's talk about who really paid the price. Women who were in the background of that picture. Trans advocates. The ones doing quiet, respectful, and unglamorous work now have to work to rebuild trust that stunts like this might erode. And while Lily's calling it activism, one woman who was in the background, well, she's calling a lawyer.
I was scrolling, and I just want you guys to, I didn't mean to like it. Don't like it, okay? Anyway, I'm scrolling, and guys, look what I noticed. Boom. There I am. I personally am going to try to seek legal advice about it because I don't know what else was taken without my permission. Like other photos that may not have been posted because I don't know what else was taken in there while it was supposed to be a private area when it was supposed to be somewhere that I should be able to just, do what I need to do and feel safe doing so, not have all my business put out there. I feel like this also ruins my image as a TikToker because I don't do full body stuff, so I didn't want my body out there like that. I wasn't asked, could it be taken? I'm not okay with this.
Okay, imagine this, you're on your 30-minute lunch break and you're just scrolling, enjoying yourself on TikTok, and then suddenly, boom, you see yourself in the background of someone else's bathroom selfie in Disney World. That's what happened here. This woman sees herself in the background of Lily's mirror selfie, and she goes, hey, so, I didn't sign up for this. And yeah, now she's seeking legal advice. Because if you're being filmed in the bathroom without knowing it, that's not just weird, that's a violation. So let's exercise our allegedly. But that's not the point. Because I'm definitely seeing other women in the bathroom. Even if none of this went viral or nobody spoke up, it's still not okay. But according to Lilly, it's not that deep. I just looked cute in the mirror. But what about privacy and consent? Not treating the women behind you like a background blur in a clout chasing selfie. And before anyone's like, okay, but she was just being dramatic. Would you be cool with that? Your grandma fixing her hair, your 12-year-old cousin washing their hands. But here's the thing, this woman speaking up does not make her inherently anti-Lilly. It makes her a normal person who didn't want to go viral for being in the wrong bathroom at the wrong time. And honestly, a lawsuit wouldn't sound absurdly wild if you think about how many times this might have been downloaded or stitched. Screenshotted, screen recorded before anyone saw it. When Lilly found out about this, of course, she had a different interpretation.
And if truly that happened, right? If truly they wanted to say it was against the rules for you to take bathroom selfies, that will ultimately be a good thing. You sent, not like that I'm happy to be in trouble that way, but this is what it is being an advocate. Okay, this is my goal in taking those pictures was to normalize
trans women using the women's room.
The what now? Nothing says progress like filming strangers without their consent. That is Lily's latest plot twist. If truly they wanted to say it was against the rules to take bathroom selfies, that would ultimately be a good thing. My goal was to normalize trans women using the women's room. That doesn't happen without friction. Let's break that down because I'm sorry. What part of this is activism? This is so plainly just bad boundaries. There's a difference between existing in a space and filming others in a space without their consent. One does not get to blow past the privacy rules just because you've decided you're making a point. Especially not in the bathroom because, come on, that's like the one place that you would hope not to be turned into content. But let's be super clear here. Trans women using the women's bathroom is not the problem. That should be normalized. That should be boring. And if anyone had done this, cis, trans, influencer, your grandma, the reaction would be exactly the same. But that's where it gets messier. Because Lily's new defense is getting in trouble with the state of Florida might actually be a good thing.
That kind of thing doesn't happen without friction. It doesn't happen without friction, okay? If Florida, as a state, wants to make a stink about it, they certainly are welcome to. But ultimately, they'll have to know that if they do that, that will do nothing but draw more attention to the issue, right? Which ultimately they might want to do, but these aren't the kind of things that people like truly go to prison for. These are the kinds of things that you see news articles about, right? Like trans woman, in trouble with Florida after blah, blah, blah. And like, it would be a public debacle. And that's good. Because we want that conversation.
Oh, okay. So now we're rooting for a legal scandal, for the exposure. These aren't the kind of things people go to prison for. It'd just be a public debacle. Right, so just a casual public nightmare for the sake of press. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not like anti-drama. I love a good main character of the day as much as the next chronically online internet goblin. But turning a potential lawsuit into a marketing opportunity, that is clout chasing with consequences. Because let's be honest, those headlines you're fantasizing about, they're not gonna say trans women bravely sparks awareness. It's gonna be more like TikToker under fire after bathroom photo sparks outrage. LGBTQ plus controversy at Disney. Woman filmed without consent. Internet explodes. So pray tell, what are we doing here? Running a political campaign or LARPing as a scandal-riddled revolutionary? If you think a lawsuit is the price of visibility, maybe you're not fighting the right cause. Maybe you're fighting to stay in the spotlight. Okay, so this is a lot. Let's all take a moment to mentally reset because this part of the video is sponsored by Surkshark VPN. So my toxic trait is watching the same 3 TV shows over and over again on repeat. Like it's a coping mechanism. Well, because it is. But then Surfshark comes along and it's like, what if we made that worse? And by worse, I mean, what if you unlocked Japanese Netflix and fell down an anime hole so deep that you forgot what grass is? Because that is exactly what happened. I downloaded Surfshark, set my location to Japan, refreshed the page, and suddenly I have access to anime that I did not know existed. Now it's 3 a.m., I'm emotionally attached to like 3 new characters. One of them is my lock screen, don't ask which one. But Surfshark is not just about streaming, it's about keeping your online life private. It hides your location, encrypts your browsing, and makes sure nobody sees what you're doing online. For example, that one time you Googled, do fictional characters count as emotional support? Also, this is the wildest part. You can use it on unlimited devices. Your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your off-brand gaming setup that makes plain sounds. One account covers it all. If you want to try it, go to surfshark.com/mana or use the code MANA at checkout for 4 extra months free. Again, it is surfshark.com/mana. This is an exclusive deal just through this link. 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN completely free. Super easy, links right in the description. And if it's not for you, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're literally risking nothing except maybe becoming a little bit too powerful. Thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring this chaos and for enabling my 3 a.m. anime spiral, now within international reach. And speaking of making everything about you, Lilly films at Disney, and I'm just curious here, like, how many days apart are these controversies happening? Like, certainly it couldn't have been more than a week, right?
So last year I made a video that a lot of people got upset by, where I talked about some things in Disneyland. A lot of y'all thought that video would get me banned from Disney, so let's see if that's true. I'm at the Disney World entrance, about to try and get in, so let's see if that video really did get me banned. I paid for a hotel and the tickets, so it would be really unfortunate if that happened at this point. It's not a very long line to get in. Sweat on the brow. That's how I'm nervous. It's exciting. I love Disney World. Okay, so I just beep it here. Put the finger there. Oh, further in. I'm allowed in? I'm not banned from Disney.
No, you're not.
Wow. Huge news. Thank you. Y'all. I'm back. I'm back, baby. You can't keep me out of Disney. Marshmallow wands. Cake pops. Let's go. I'm here.
Lilly returns to the scene of the crime with the most bold energy imaginable. After all the criticism Lilly got the last time she visited Disney World, she was like, you know what the world needs? A Disney redemption arc. And of course she starts off the video like she's entering enemy territory, like, let me see if I'm banned or not. If Disney actually banned you, I feel they wouldn't wait until the finger scan to break the news. In fact, I think you might have already been in your car filming a different video called Disney Banned Me, A Tragic Tale. This feels like self-made drama, like manufactured tension for clicks. It wasn't so much investigative journalism, but also, if you're worried about being banned, don't you like realize like the cognitively that what you did before wasn't right? But sure enough, she gets in. Not that the viewer would know that until they already watched the end of the video and now they got an ad. That video to me, it wasn't about the park. It wasn't about Disney's policy. It was about staying in your feed. She even throws in a weird little line about paying for hotels and tickets already. Almost like she's setting up for a future victim arc. You know, if they banned me, that would be really unfair. And now that she's behind the gates, she can continue to teach us about private anatomy using children's snacks. That's right, folks. We are using processed meat as a metaphor for gender-affirming surgery. Because apparently nothing says educational content like waving a corn dog in the air right next to a family of 4 who's just trying to enjoy their $50,000 Disney vacation.
I think Disney's gonna ban me for this one. My corn dog is still intact. I'm not happy about that, but sadly it takes a long time to turn a corn dog into a inverted corn dog. I do hair removal every week for 2 hours straight. It is not fun or easy, but once that is finally done, hopefully by the end of the year, they are going to take my corn dog. These ears do not want to stay on. They are going to cut it down the middle. This is not the best knife for this. They will then take off the outer lining of the corn dog. Okay, I'm actually impressed that I'm doing this good of a job. Like so. Flip it inside out and make something of a tunnel. This tunnel will then become, well, you know, my hands are disgusting. Now you might be asking why I would do this or why anyone would do this. It sounds not fun, and I agree with you. I'm not looking forward to that recovery process. But know that this is not a decision that any of us take lightly. Our corn dogs do serve a purpose, but at the end of the day, I just don't like having it. It's not me. I look at it in the mirror and it's like, ugh, can we do something about that? And it turns out we can. But until then, I am making the most of my final days with my corn dog. Farewell to this thing that has served me not very well, but is what I was born with. It did its duty. R.I.P. I'm good.
With the corn dog, Lily, the corn dog. I'm never gonna look at a corn dog, honestly, the same way. She cuts into it like it's a med school final and we're the unwilling audience on a Disney field trip. I just wanna be super clear. Gender-affirming surgery, totally fine. Educating people about it, totally fine. But doing it in Disney World with ketchup being used as blood when someone's kid is over here trying to find Elsa. This was not the move. It was not changing minds or hearts. It was probably confusing kids and upsetting parents. And I'm just having deja vu, cause haven't we done this already? Same park, same overshare, same. Did she really just do that? Like echoing throughout Tomorrowland. She got called out last time, and instead of taking notes, she ran it back. Here's what makes it worse. It's not just tourists or TikTok critics raising concerns. Plenty of trans creators have spoken up too. Some saying Lily's behavior makes it harder for them to be taken seriously, and sometimes even puts them at risk. But instead of listening, she treats it like a backlash buffet and goes back for seconds. But seriously, who is this for? I mean, trans folks don't need an anatomy lesson, like specifically in Disney World. Cis allies are confused, and then tourists are just trying to enjoy their $18 churros in peace. There's a difference between being seen and making us seen. And when people ask, well, how did these controversies just keep happening? This is why. She doesn't pause, she doesn't reflect, she actually cranks it up a notch, and then somehow makes it worse, and that makes it harder for me to defend you, Lily, because it's seeming more and more like rage bait. So Lily's at Disney, she's getting a little hungry, she wants another snack, so she goes into a Disney restaurant. She places her order, and what happens next? She unfortunately gets misgendered. Let's watch said footage.
That is fancy looking. Cool.
The bottom is from Thailand.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, sorry, my bad. And the middle one is from India. It's the papadom with the gingerbread chutney.
Okay.
And the third is from Brazil. It's a cheese bread with the guava sauce.
Thank you. Just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me want to immediately like leave. Because I no longer feel like safe here. It's like, oh, my guard now has to be up. I'm not gonna enjoy this bread as much because my guard is up. We should be able to go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower, actually. I think I'd rather have the check if that's
Yes,
okay.
ma'am, yeah.
I think that's the training. We're supposed to say friend or just not use gendered language. It's like a pretty big thing that Disney has done. Nothing was wrong with bread. I just don't want it anymore. Just because they apologize doesn't mean she doesn't feel sad or offended. Yeah. Exactly, right? Like, if you've accidentally ever hurt someone and say, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, do you expect them to be like, oh, it was an accident? Of course, no problem whatsoever. All of that hurt is now undone. That's not how it works.
Sorry about what happened.
It's okay. I would love to pay for the drink, please.
No, the drink is on me too, so
You don't. Are you sure?
you're good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Sorry
very
about
much.
that.
I appreciate it.
I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I was like, so this is what went viral? But the more I looked at it, the more complicated it got. So here's the deal. The Disney cast member misgendered Lily, calling her sir. She corrected them, and they said, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, not great. That's kind of when it stops being a slip up and it sounds more like you weren't really listening. I don't know. Misgendering someone after they correct you, even if it wasn't on purpose, is still disrespectful, and that matters. But I have kind of been that person where your brain kind of short circuits, you say the wrong thing twice, and you would love nothing more than to take a long walk off a short pier. Especially in such a fast-paced job where you're basically always on autopilot. That does not make it an excuse, but we can have empathy for the intent. But this is where it loses me. The video didn't stop there. It turned into a full-blown emotional arc. The bread tower is ruined. The vibes are ruined. She no longer feels safe. And then it gets posted to TikTok for 10 million people. And the person on the other end is just someone trying to make it through the day in 90-degree heat. They're wearing a costume. They're honestly just trying to juggle a script and crowd control. I do still like have empathy for Lilly during this time because I imagine it's not easy every single time you might be misgendered. But then again, she does have like a series of videos where this happens and she continues posting and posting and posting every time it happens. To me, it just screams more like monetization because like posting it once like might have gotten the message across. Also, the bread, did she pay for it? Like, could she have gotten it to go? No. Okay, I get being too upset to eat anything. That's totally valid. However, the broke kid in me is screaming. Okay, fair. I had frugal parents, the kind that was like, don't eat all day because later we're going to Old Country Buffet because kids eat free, like level frugal. It kind of rewired my brain, like even now, I will choose like the cheapest airline option. Give me less legroom, I dare you. Spirit Frontier, no snacks, no dignity? I don't care. This plane will take me from A to B. Most likely, have y'all seen like all these planes crashing recently? So that bread tower, it would have been wrapped in napkins and smuggled out like sacred leftovers. Approved though, Lilly did stay seated and accept her free drink and drank the whole thing. It's like when you're not sure who's up next to order at McDonald's and they're kind of just like, hey, no, you can go. And then the other person's like, no, you go. Are you sure? Like, okay, I'll go. Like the are you sure part is just to be nice, but you're really thinking in your head, don't mind if I do. I need my $5 meal deal and my 2 chocolate chip cookies stat. But wait, there's more because we shift from carbs to commentary. Because now Lilly is addressing the backlash, not just for the bread thing, like for all of it. Here's what Lilly has to say about people accusing her of stirring the pot for no reason.
Some trans people will accuse me of rage baiting. They think that I'm stirring the pot just to stir the pot and making people more angry at the trans community for no reason. Sure, I will use grabby things in my videos so that people pay attention, but I would argue that when you take all of my videos and boil them down to the core things I'm trying to communicate, that they're pretty basic concepts about the transgender experience.
All right, this is the hot defense, I fear. According to her, none of this was rage bait. It's just grabby or attention grabby.
Hi friends! Did you know that Abraham Lincoln was queer?
A big clue.
I bet you didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans.
It's just part of the transgender experience. Okay, Wait, which part are we talking about? If we're talking about representation, can we just like zoom out a little bit? Some people, unfortunately, might I add, are skeptical about like LGBT life. Like, I would genuinely appreciate an explanation other than maybe religious things as to why people would be anti-LGBT. Like, if you're not LGBT, why are you so adamant about hating on LGBT? I would genuinely appreciate an explanation. But anyways, if someone is already skeptical, it just takes one viral mess for them to say, I knew that they were all like this. Not because it's true, but because the algorithm is always handing the mic to the loudest person in the room. Things really spiral in my head when Lilly says that these are just basic concepts about being trans. Cool. But if these are basic concepts, why do they keep showing up wrapped in like controversy, drama, lawsuits? Every time backlash rolls in, she frames it as proof that she's doing something important. Like, oh, I'm being criticized. Clearly I'm shaking the system. Is Lilly starting conversations or wildfires in which she's going to like vlog the ashes? I've prepared a list of what some people might see from like the outside perspective. Because Lilly, I've prepared you for this. From an outside perspective, some people might think this is your content strategy. 1, create drama. 2, watch it burn. 3, I'm so annoying. 3, film the smoke. 4. Call it awareness. That's not activism. That's the algorithm wearing activist cosplay. Is this the transgender experience? Or is it chaos with a ring light and Wi-Fi connection? And I always have to say, like, if someone is making money, like, there's plenty of people online who educate and they have a career off of it and they do great education. Off the top of my head, like, Molly Burke, I hope she wasn't involved in any controversy, because every time I talk about someone, like, in a positive way, they're like, no, this person was, like, illegal things always. But, like, you do have to think, like, is this person making money off of it? And if so, could that be motivating certain decisions? So make sure to like and subscribe, because guess what? The cringing counts as cardio. Congrats. Workout routine, more like watching a half-hour Michelle Manna video. Comment below a leaf emoji if you made it this far in the video, because if so, you good? Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you film me in the bathroom, I will sue you.